Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. I'm going to do a quick lunchtime reading here. Looking at the news, USA Today is reporting on February 2nd that Donald Trump's March 4th trial date, this is the Jack Smith January 6th case, has been postponed. It was originally scheduled for trial on March 4th. A new trial date has not yet been scheduled by Judge Tanya Chutkan. Two of Cups just popped up here. So what happens next? They still, what are they waiting on? They're waiting on Presidents Aren't Kings D.C. Court of Appeals ruling that Trump has absolute immunity. I don't see how that ever is going to pass through the Court of Appeals, and they should be rejecting it. And whether or not it goes to the Supreme Court, we'll find out. But Trump has managed yet again to delay another trial on ridiculousness. What this does mean is that it's highly likely that the Alvin Bragg hush money payment to Stormy Daniels' trial, which is to begin on March 25th, will begin on time. How will this impact the Mar-a-Lago case? We don't know. Judge Eileen Cannon certainly seems to be hell-bent on delaying that as much as possible. And then you've got the RICO case in Georgia, which is to start in August, but it's also a 5-month trial. So Alvin Bragg right now is the only case that looks like it will actually make it to court and be resolved before the election, depending on what happens with the January 6th case. So let's find out. Energy around January 6th, the delay around the January 6th case. Entertainment purposes only. I wanted to get this reading done because this is breaking news. You're going into the weekend, and I want to get you and me some information before we take a break. Queen of Pentacles. Managing this case. This case, again, is very dear to Judge Chutkan. It's a big, important case on here. And they don't have all the information that's needed in order to keep the case going on its proposed timeline. That's not to say it won't happen, but this case is important, and rushing it before it's ready is not an option. And then we have the Tower. I don't think this means that the case is not going. Oh, and here's opening day. There's going to be a delay. This case is going to be the case that brings down Donald Trump. Certainly, the Letitia James case is going to take all the money away from Donald Trump. But this is what the January 6th case is what's going to destroy his political future. And underneath it is, yeah, there's a delay, but it's still coming. This case is not being dropped. It's not going to be forgotten. This is a case that could very well land Donald Trump in prison, because I do use the four of Wands as a prison card because it looks like prison bars. It's just not ready to go yet because there's still more challenges, but those challenges aren't going to bring down this case. This case is going to bring down Trump. In the past, we've got Jack Smith. Jack Smith has absolutely been pushing really hard to get this case. In fact, that's why there's so many unindicted co-conspirators, is that Jack Smith only wanted it to try Donald Trump. He wanted this on as fast a track as possible, just so that they could focus on Donald Trump. They will go after everybody else in a subsequent case or cases, but this one is to focus on the former president and his role in January 6th. Current situation is Page of Wands. They're going to have to move. There's still actions that need to be taken that haven't been resolved yet. Again, you've got a couple of appeals and some other things going on that are just going to delay this case. But it's not going away. It's just delayed. It's moving to another time. Overarching situation is the Four of Cups. It's... Judge Chutkan doesn't like that this case has been delayed, but she's got most of her stuff ready to go, but not everything's resolved yet. Remember, I was saying that this case is important to her. Everything's got to be lined up. They've got most of the stuff lined up, but there's some issues that have not been resolved that are preventing her from completing this case on the timeline that she wants. Again, though, you have a pair of 4s coming on here, so it may not be delayed that much longer. We might be into April instead of March, maybe the end of April. The lesson to be learned is the 6 of coins, the charity. Okay, this is just justice. You know, you got to let part of the U.S. justice system, and I focus on the scales of justice here. Part of the U.S. justice system is, even if it's so obvious this person's guilty, they have rights and they have challenges as part of the justice system, and it's those rights and challenges that add the value to our justice system. And you've got to let it play out, or else we don't have justice. If you just trample on people's rights, we don't have justice. Now, it's really frustrating because you know he's guilty, and you want to take away his rights because you know what game he's playing. You know it's all delay. He doesn't want to be held accountable for this. But if we make the exception on this that, well, he's guilty, so we're going to trample over his rights, they'll trample over everybody's rights. It's the strength and the weakness. It's the double-edged sword that is democracy and our justice system. Criminals can absolutely take advantage of it, but what we hope is that justice is served in the end. The outcome is the Magician card, the manifestation. Here's the thing. Something new will come out of this. And potentially better for it. Now you're going to say, well, what would be better? You know, he's going to be guilty anyways. But it's about timing. Right? So if this case happens at the end of April, or even if it goes into June, I don't know if they said how long this case is supposed to go for. I'm sure it's going to go for several weeks. You know, if it's, let's say it's delayed all the way to June, but even if it's April, let's call it the end of April. It's going to take it all through May and probably halfway into June before the case is resolved. That is right around the time of the Republican caucuses. The Republicans have to make a choice on their presidential candidate, and they won't have the January 6th case under their belt with which to walk away from Trump. So they're going to have to make a moral decision as to who's going to represent the GOP in the upcoming presidential election. Knowing that Donald Trump is guilty of insurrection, knowing his role in January 6th, if they pick him anyway, they've made their bed. And they've printed their ballots. And if he's then found to be guilty on this, he could be imprisoned, he could be fleeing the country. A lot of people will be turned off of that. And what are the Republicans going to do? They've got a dead weight, an albatross of a candidate with a mill wheel around its neck. They will have gotten everything they deserved. So, you know, frustrating. We want justice to happen, but it could very well be that this delay helps the timelines for the United States to move to a more democratic society and move away from the brink of authoritarianism. All right. How does this impact the Alvin Bragg case? How will this actually... Before we get to the Alvin Bragg case, let's get back to this. A couple more shuffles here. Do you think I get the results for Alvin Bragg? Will this delay... When will this case actually take place? And then I'll follow up with how will it impact the U.S. Election cycle. When do you think... When will this case be put back on the docket? It's going to be before the election. Summertime. Sun card. It's going to be in the summertime. So we're looking in June. I think as early as June. Now, is this when the case goes in, or is this when the case is resolved? It could be resolved by the end of June, too. So that would still allow for an April time frame. But let's see. We got the sun out. Hostage. There's another 6. Oh, okay. The truth is going to be revealed for Donald Trump's actions on there and trying to hold Mike Pence hostage, basically leaving voters out in the cold. So we have a 5, a 6, an 8, and a 10. An absolute undoing. When this case is all said and done, people are going to know who Donald Trump is. I think there's a range of dates. I think May is the absolute earliest it could happen. I think I'm seeing 6 here for June. So I was talking about April. I suspect this is going to get pushed off till June. And it'll end in August. And we're just in time for the Georgia RICO case to start. And in October 10 is when it comes, the real death comes in this case. Maybe not. It doesn't necessarily have to be October, but oh, here you go. This case starts in June. The Republicans have already decided by August they are strapped with their candidate, and we probably have a verdict. Yeah, and then stuff starts happening. If Trump runs or he has no money, he's kind of broken at this point, and his candidacy is over with. It's absolutely over with. There's a lot of stuff going on with this little Ford car spread, but I'm going to say that the trial's going to get rescheduled to June. It's going to end in August. In that time frame, the Republicans will have chosen Donald Trump as their presumptive candidate for the presidency, and then they're stuck with him. They're stuck with somebody who's been shown to be an insurrectionist. And that 5 of coins, he's going to be broke. He might be fleeing the country. Who knows? He'll definitely be broke by that point. Well, he may not be broke at that exact point, but all those judgments that are going to be made against him in the Letitia James case, I don't know how quickly they'll be moving to sell stuff, but they're not going to be taking their time. And Trump's got to find some money to appeal, and the appeals will go pretty quick. So that could even be by May that Trump is starting to lose all his money. In June, he's on trial. In August, the Republicans have strapped themselves to a candidate with a millstone around his neck. Okay. How will all this impact the election in November? Tough decisions going to be made. Hard decision going to be made. And I don't mean like, Trump's going to win the presidency and now we're stuck with him. This is like the American people just being the stern person looking down at the guilty person. You bring the criminal in front of the emperor here. Justice has been served. Strong action will have been taken. And somebody's going away. Okay, and now is this Trump fleeing? I think the American people are going to speak. What's going to impact the election is people are going to have really strong opinions about the election, about what's fair and right for the United States, and they're going to take big action. Expect a big turnout for blue candidates, and maybe the Trumpers aren't showing up. Or not as many show up. That's possible. I do think that, I think Trump and company MAGA is going away. But again, justice is served, strong actions being taken with a very stern look on this one. Knight of Cups is about relationships and going forward. False, it could be the false knight too. I think you could say the false knight's being sent away here. This could also be Biden winning and then trying to reach out to the American people, or the American people coming out, reaching out to Biden. Basically that little apology that we were wrong. Trump was the problem all along, wasn't he? Type of thing. Again, this could also be Biden reaching out to all Americans, thanking them for putting him back in power. Or at least giving his administration another 4 years to get stuff done. And I do think there's going to be a big getting stuff done and along the justice card here. Okay. Will the Alvin Bragg trial start on time? We'll just start on. Well, there's plenty of time to do Alvin Bragg readings. Got another 2 months before the trial even starts, really. You know, it's the 2nd of February. It starts on March 25th, so we've got 51 days, 7 weeks and change. Will the Alvin Bragg trial begin on time? What can you tell me a little bit about that? We'll wrap it up. Something to look forward to. There's Donald Trump, and there's his money, and this is basically a campaign finance fraud case here, crossed with the world card. Yeah, this trial. I think this trial is going to begin. It's going to, again, we're gonna bring closure to this trial. Queen of Wands. This could be your not Letitia James, but this could be your Stormy Daniels here underneath there. All right, what do we got? King of Cups. You got the election versus Biden. No, it's not Biden election though. This is 2016. This is against Hillary Clinton. I don't think that's Hillary. It's got to be Stormy Daniels. In the past, got the King of Cups. I'm actually going to say that's Michael Cohen. He's a very passionate lawyer who represented Trump and basically helped this whole thing begin. He's now a witness. It's going to be a strong case, a strong evidential case against Trump because there's a lot of paperwork. It's not all paperwork, but Cohen and others can put faces to things in the room. So there's going to be a big, strong push on this one. The case is going to go fairly quickly. There's a lot of evidence put in there. There's not a lot of defense that can be done because not only do you have the paper evidence, but you've got testimony to back it up. They'll try and impugn Michael Cohen's character. He's a liar. He's a convicted felon. They'll attack the witnesses because that's all they can do. They can't attack the data. Lesson to be learned. It's about the backroom dealings. Yeah, and that's where Cohen's testimony comes in because he could talk about what was being negotiated in the back room and how they hid the payments. If this was on the up and up, you don't need to have Michael Cohen take out a home equity line of credit to pay Stormy Daniels and then have Trump pay Michael Cohen over a 10-month period back. Outcome is the Three of Wands. There's going to be actions taken. I was asking about the case if it was going to start on time when I'm getting results on the case. There could be delays on it. There could be delays. You're waiting for something to come in. I know this case got delayed because they were trying to accommodate Jack Smith's case. You know what it is? I think this case impacts the timing of other cases. I don't think this case is going to be delayed. I think it impacts the timing of other cases. Other cases are watching and waiting for this one to be done so that they can make their schedules. But I don't. Three Wands. I don't think there's going to be jail time for Trump, so to speak, or maybe if there is, it's like house arrest type of thing. It's not the Four of Wands, but I think there's going to be punishment that'll be coming out of this. All right, enough vagaries. So what did we learn? I don't know. I don't remember the first reading anymore. Oh yeah, I do. The case is valuable. While we may not like the delay is going to be likely helpful in sealing the deal for the GOP. It looks like they will probably select their candidate for the primaries prior to the January 6th case being completed. Trump will be shown to be an insurrectionist. The Republicans will be stuck with their choices. Caveat emptor, right? Is that caveat emptor? Buyer beware. That the case will be resolved before the end of summer, and it's going to impact the election. And how does it impact the Alvin Bragg case? I believe that one's going to move forward, and its outcome is going to impact, or how long it takes is going to impact other cases. and they'll be looking at that one. I'll be curious to see what that Three of Wands is. Anyways, that's your summing up. Thank you very much for watching this video. I appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed this afternoon quickie. Well, it's not a quickie, it's a longie. Hope you enjoyed this afternoon delight. There you go. And I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.